Hey everyone, my name is Alex Fleming. Behind me is our 4600 Ultra 4 car. This is our 6-year racing King of Hammers on this truck. And a lot of the truck has stayed the same, but we've made minor updates along the way, and we've found the key ingredient that seems to be working. Last year, we got a finish out of time. We completed the whole course. The truck held up really well, other than a minor issue in the desert lap. And this year, we have that fixed. So hoping we can really go out there and lay down a really solid run. But going through the whole truck, front to back, we have some fun things. Out front, we have a modified Addicted Off-Road hybrid bumper. We have this custom-built push bar for nerfing trucks in the desert. We also widened this bumper to match our advanced fiberglass fenders. We did a slew of Baja Designs. We have the LP9 Pros up front, which give us really nice wide lighting out in the desert at night. We have Squadron SAEs in the headlights. These are really awesome. We have them aimed pretty low. We kind of use them more for a marker light, but these also would make a kick-ass headlight. We also have a Warn Xeon 10S. This winch has been in this truck since we built it. And then we have our Factor 55 Ultra Hook. And then we have this awesome setup on the front here from Warn. This makes it really easy for us to run winch line, wrap around tubes on recovery vehicles or other race trucks out on course, and hook up to any winch points we need really fast. So you probably wouldn't see this on a normal trail rig, but this is a lifesaver out here at King of the Hammers.
What's the difference between that and a normal soft shackle, Alex?
A normal soft shackle, you have a big old meaty ball and you have to kind of slide everything, and it just takes time, whereas this, it's hard mounted into the Ultra Hook, and all we have to do is bring it around and hook it right through. So it saves us time out in the rocks when we're pulling winch.
That's a product from Warn too that anybody can buy?
Yep, you can buy this from Warn or Factor 55. I think they call it their hammer loop, but I could be wrong. Down below, we have a whole custom skid package. This is the factory cross, or not the factory cross member, the Addicted Off-Road cross member. We welded this into the truck, and then we made a custom 1/4-inch steel skid plate that ties into our cross member. It's super beefy, it protects our diff, and we have UHMW plastic on this, so when we're in the rocks, it slides really nicely. And then also out in the desert, the ruts are super deep, so this belly skid's hitting the ground, and we want it to be as greasy as possible.
I also hear that UHMW kind of absorbs impacts when you slam down on it.
When you're hitting stuff really hard, it just kind of takes some of that shock out when you hit raw steel.
Super cool.
Down here, as far as suspension goes, we're running the Marlin Crawler RCLT HD. The biggest reason we love this kit is this high clearance lower A-arm. It gives us that really nice belly clearance you need out in the rocks out here, especially running a DOT 35-inch tire. We have Icon suspension. We have their CDEV. This is an 8-inch coilover. CDEV is really cool technology. It allows you to have quick adjustments on these shocks. They have a computer system that's basically measuring G-force inputs every few milliseconds, and it's opening and closing your valve on the back, which is basically restricting or opening fluid travel. So it can be nice and supple in the slow, choppy stuff out in the rocks, and then when you it senses a big change in motion, it can stiffen up and close out those ports, and it gives you that compression you need when you're hitting really big stuff. Trail gear limit straps, Icon 2-inch hydro bumps, de-stroked to 1 inch, so we're not in our hydro in a lot of our travel with the motion ratio. And then just a lot of gusseting. Everything's gusseted in. We have a nice shock hoop, and we got rid of the factory coil bucket. This all ties into our roll cage. So everything up here is very beefy. We did custom lower pivots in the factory location that are double shear, bigger hardware going through these lower pivots, and then we even deleted the lower bushings and went to a custom, we designed it in-house, basically a steel bushing setup that has less play and a longer service life than the Delrin bushings that these kits come with from the factory. And this is very much so a race thing. If this was on a weekend wheeler or a rock crawler at home, the bushings would be perfect.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of this just out of necessity after you went out and broke it while racing, and just strengthening things over time as you were breaking things over time.
Yeah, and so much of this is stuff you just learn through experience. Something kind of neat down here, our rock sliders are very untypical. You wouldn't really see this too much on a weekend rock crawler, but we have basically steel outriggers with pads with nutzerts in them, and then this is 1/4-inch aluminum 6061, so it's nice and rigid and strong, and then UHMW, and this gives us a really smooth boat side all the way down the side of the car, and it allows us to kind of slide through the rocks, and you're less likely to get hung up like you would on a normal tube steel slider. They are less strong and they require a little bit more service. We usually put a new piece of aluminum on these every year, especially after King of the Hammers. These are going to be wavy noodles by the time we finish, but it's really nice to have. They almost act as suspension as you hit things because it allows some give, but it slides through stuff really nice. As far as the rear goes, while we stay on the bottom of the truck, we have a custom triangulated 4-link and a 4 9-inch rear axle. These are all custom mounts on the frame. They're built incredibly beefy with double-plated 3/16 steel, big leading edges for sliding through the rocks. If we did it again, I'd probably push these lowers further into the frame and try and get them higher. These hang up in the rocks a lot, but it's a lot of work to change all this rear geometry, and it works really well. Super planted in the rocks, really fun and fast in the desert, and our geometry numbers ended up really nice for what it is. But yeah, 35s and a big 9-inch. Our rear diff hangs out in the rocks often, so we actually don't even run a rear pinion guard because we found that it was in the rocks more than if we just didn't, because it adds more material, it hangs lower. So we just have to be careful with that rear driveline down there, but it's been treating us really well. In the back, we have 12-inch Icon smooth body shocks. These have a inline cooler, so this is basically just a fluid holder, and it gives us more fluid capacity. And then we have a secondary resi in the back, so this gives us a little bit more heat absorption and cooling when we're pushing hard in the desert. We also have an inlet and an outlet, so the fluid is cycling through the shock versus just moving back and forth. So this gives us a little bit more cooling as well. Are there limitations in the 4600 class on the size of your shocks in the rear? Yes, so this is actually 2 inches shorter than we're allowed. You can go up to a 14-inch, 2.5-inch shock. And the cool thing about 4600 class is it requires you to run the similar style suspension to what you had before. So we can't convert this to coilovers. I don't know why we would, but we can't convert it to like leaf springs. So we have to stay link with a shock. And if the truck came with a coilover and links, that's what you'd have to retain. So that's why we run this. We were able to push it up a little higher. We're not allowed to cut through the body, so this shock can't go up into the back to fit a 14. And we really just tried to play with the travel numbers we wanted and where we wanted our bump to be and our full droop, and we got this 12-inch shock working really well, and we haven't found a need to go up to an 14-inch shock. So this has been insane. Icon has done an amazing job with these shocks. The CDEV soaks stuff up. This 6,000-pound truck honestly drives like a UTV, which is mind-boggling for
you guys qualified really fast. Was it the best the truck's ever felt?
It was violent inside the car. We pushed it hard and it held up to it really well, but yeah, without that shock tuning and the shock absorption that we were getting out of this package, we would not have been able to go that fast.
It looked really fast. How about the rear? Let's talk about some of the stuff that you wouldn't see on a normal vehicle, because fuel cell things, all sorts of different stuff.
It's cool. We'll start with the most obvious. There's no hatch back here. And technically we do have a half door. If I remove these straps, the upper portion of this hatch still comes up. 4600 requires you to keep a hatch, all your doors, and they have to be a half door as a limitation. So we chose the top half of our hatch. So it's cut out right at the taillights here. But back here, obviously you have the roll cage and all that assembly going on, but we have a 27-gallon fuel cell. This is what gave us the room for that 4-link suspension in the back. We have our trans cooler back here. We have some spare parts wrapped up on the cage, and then our spare tire. And then mounted up here on our roof rack, we have a Baja Designs RTL. This is our chase light for the dust. And then we have two S2s also mounted, kind of facing out and down, that just give us a little bit more dust visibility when people are coming up behind us and nasty silt. It's just a little bit of protection in that regard.
Very cool. I see UHMW underneath the rear bumper here as well, and you guys went up as high as you possibly could.
Yep, we tucked this bumper up as much as possible. We still retain the factory bumper plastics, and then this is all tied into the frame. It's got a push bar back here, so when we're getting nerfed or playing in the rocks, all this is super high and tight and sleek. And then our lowest hanging points are covered in UHMW to again help us slide off the rocks and not get hung up. As far as gears go, while we're looking at the rear axle again, we're running 529 gears from Yukon Gear and Axle. The rear axle is a spool, So it's always locked up. You don't have a choice back there, but it's simple, which we like. And then we're running Willwood brakes with Spider Trax hubs and their rotors on the rear. Also, kind of fun for a race car, we're running a roof rack. This roof rack has been a champ. It's pretty fun. People always comment on the rack up here. We have a Onyx Racer. So this is their Racer Series light bar. This thing is a lightsaber out in the desert. It'll shoot about, we went and measured out at night one night, and it goes about 2,000 feet. So you can see way out in front of the car. Way more than we'd ever be able to drive. These things are made for trophy trucks, but it's pretty neat to have a pretty crazy light thanks to Baja Designs.
Super cool.
XL80s on the A-pillar. These give us some nice wide light out in the rocks at night. We run amber down low because down low's in that heavier dust, and amber just cuts through dust way better. Guess we could do wheels and tires next.
Yeah, man.
Wheel and tire package. This our class is limited to a 35-inch DOT tire. So we at Sherpa are huge fans of Kenda. We've been running these on the race car for 3 years. I personally have been running Kenda for over 5, and they are the best tire we have found for what we do. They're affordable for a consumer, but they hold up so well out here. The tires we just swapped off the truck raced Vegas to Reno, 400 miles of nasty desert. We came out here, we pre-ran the desert race, we beat the truck up in the rocks, we raced the desert race, 120 miles of abuse, did more pre-running in the rocks, and no issues on the tires. We even qualified on those same tires. And now we have a used set from the shop that we knew had still tons of life in it, and we're gonna go race King of Hammers on these. That's how confident we are in these. Nomad Sahara beadlocks. These are really unique, cool wheels. We absolutely love it. The machine finish, the really sweet deep dish. These are a -10 offset, and it's about as tight as we could get. We wanted to keep this truck as narrow as possible, so it's tucked up right up against that spindle, and it's been working really, really well for us. These wheels have been on this truck for 3 years now, and we have yet to have a single issue with the wheels. We haven't broken one, we haven't cracked one, we haven't bent one, so something
very cool
to say about those wheels.
You'll notice a lot of stuff we do at Mountain Yotas, and if you're watching this channel, you're not surprised by the roof rack on the truck. This is kind of where it all started. I actually was like looking into roof rack designs before I even knew these guys, and then I decided that I wouldn't pursue it because I wasn't going to be able to beat Sherpa because they did everything on a roof rack that I would want to do to improve it. And then we've just gotten close since then. So we love Kendas as well, Nomads. Yeah. This is just tried, tested, proven, good stuff. RCLT. One thing I want to point out, because if you're watching this channel, then you know how much that we love portals, and one thing that he should be super proud of, especially out here at King of the Hammers, is that he's not running portals.
Yeah.
And they're still competing. So they finished last year. I think you're going to do better than finish just outside of time this year.
That's the plan.
And hey, I was about to wrap things up, but I really want to show people the inside of this truck. Yeah. Do you mind 2 minutes just showing us some things that are not normal?
It's probably the most difference from a factory 4Runner or the weekend 4Runner that you'd have at home.
Yeah, I'll jump in the passenger side real quick.
Perfect. So yeah, in here, if you were to take a glance, you probably wouldn't even assume this is a 4Runner. We've stripped down just about as much as we can as far as factory things go to reduce the weight. It's got a full 2-inch roll cage, arguably a little overbuilt, but we're big on safety. PRP seats, these are their Bravo composite seats. A full custom dash, PRP steering wheel, we got GPSs, we got our scan gauge, winch controller, kill switch, S-pods running all of our 12 volt. We got 2 S-pod brains back here. We got twin sticks with an FJ Cruiser transfer case that have been awesome. We've had this transfer case in this truck for years, and it's given us no issues. Still run the factory shifter. Yeah, it's pretty rad, but also like, as you look around, you start to see a lot of the original factory stuff. Same brake pedal, same gas pedal. We're still running a factory harness, factory ECU. It's got a tune from Modded by Phil that pepped the truck up, give it a little bit more torque, and changed some of our shift points. It's been awesome, but we haven't gone to a standalone or anything like that.
Heck yeah, man. Alex, we hope you win this thing, dude. Rooting for you in the 4600 class. If you guys don't already know, Sherpa Equipment Company makes the best roof racks in the world. Some of the best guys in Colorado. Thanks for your time, sir.
Absolutely.
And doesn't he look like a race car driver?
I mean, I'm fine.
He just looks like a race car driver. What do you look like?
People keep saying I look like a lesbian.